So here we have Arshman Afzal. He's our senior most resource we have in our company. He's a solution architect and he has been working with AI tools from a very long time. He has a vast experience and knowledge of software development, and he has changed his mind from traditional software development to the AI software development. Nowadays, just want to give some example of, if I start talking about Rashman, it will take the whole day, but you want to learn about AI, right? I just want to tell you that he's one of the guy I'm so impressed of because he can do the job of 10 developers in 1 hour or 2 hours by just using AI and the tools those are available in the market. So he's going to share his experience and his knowledge about agentic AI, how that can help you in your development journey. I know why you guys are here. The only reason is to learn because nowadays time is the most important thing. And you guys are here to learn something and participate in our event. So for this reason, I really want to appreciate you and thank you from the bottom of my heart because you guys are giving your time here, joining this event, making this event more successful. Because without you guys, this event was waste of time. But since you are here, now I can say that we are so glad to have you and thank you all for joining. Another thing that I wanted to share is that you might see some different things like different branding. We will be distributing these certificates to you at the end of the event for participation. But if you can see, there is a logo of Must Company as black lines and the green line, and then Must Company. And then on the mic, you can also see we have a different logo outside. We have two kind of standees out there. So this one is a old branding that we used to have. And now we are moving toward a new branding that is Must Company with this logo. One of the things that you will be seeing if you will follow the Must Company on LinkedIn or Instagram or other pages, we are very soon going to rebrand everything toward this logo. And you will see that. So I just wanted to make this clear so that there are no any kind of confusions that maybe there are two companies or something, but it's just one company, but we have two brandings at the moment. We are shifting from old to a new, so it takes some time because it's not a small company. We have to consider so many factors and we have to consider so many things. I'll keep it short. Thank you all for joining us today. And I hope you guys have an amazing time here and you'll get to learn a lot of things from AI and Urshman. Thank you.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Okay, so let's just start. Hello everyone. Our topic for today is transform your workflow using agentic AI. So basically, we are doing a lot of tasks regularly, which should require a lot of human effort, but they're not really that much technical. So what agentic AI is going to help you is that it will take decisions on your behalf. So for example, if you have like something that is very common, or you chat GPT or it's simple AI models can also do those things for you. They can make decisions for you. So you can just use agentic AI for those purposes. So moving on towards the next slide. Okay, so the prerequisites for this workshop are basically we are going to use NA10 for automation and all of those things. So basically, the goal for this workshop is that we have a lot of processes that we can automate. For example, like we can sort our emails. We can also that it's a very complicated process. We can also review the PRs. If most of you might be working in a company or something, like you have the PRs that needs to be reviewed. So that's a lot of hassle. So if you use agentic AI, you can make automations that can automatically create, basically review the PR. It can add the reviews, and the developer can basically make those fixes and get back to you. So it's a lot of hassle that you just fix. So for example, if you have 10 or 15 developers that are working in your team, and they are creating like frequently they're creating PRs. So like 2 or 3 members or 2 or 3 project managers should be dedicated to review those PRs. Obviously, it's 30 or 40 PRs per day. So that is a lot of hassle that needs to be catered. So for that, there are some tools that have come into the market to provide AI reviews on the PRs, but obviously those come with a cost. So NA10 is a solution which is going to provide you all of those things, but that's without cost. That's totally free. So you just need to, you can deploy NA10 on your own system. But for today's workshop, we have already deployed N10 on a cloud server on our own company server, so we can provide you the account accesses, so you can basically try to log in and implement all the workshop theme materials that we are providing over here. So in today's workshop, we will go through different 2 or 3 workflows which we will create together, and you can just we will provide you the account accesses. I guess we have emailed you if you have not received yet. Are the emails done? Okay, so you'll receive the link of N10 in your emails. You can just open that link and you can register your own account. So the invitations are on just being sent. So once they are done, we can move forward. So there are 3 things that we need over here. So the first one is N10's account access, and the other thing is Gemini API key, because it is free. You can also use different chat models. If you have the API key for OpenAI, you can use that as well. If you have Claude, you can use that as well. But if you have Gemini, is the most easiest way and the most you can say cost effective solution for this, because obviously N10 is also free, so we would like to prefer the model that is also free, so our entire solution is cost effective. So, and the third thing is, what agentic AI requires is it requires some accesses from your side. So, for example, if you are trying to automate your workflows in which your Google Calendar might be involved, your Gmail might be involved. So, what you have to do is you just need to provide the access tokens or the access to N10, your own N10 account. So it can do tasks on your behalf. So, for example, if you just ask the N10 client that, okay, I want a meeting to be scheduled at 8 p.m. So it will check your calendar. It will check if you have any meeting on 8 p.m. or not. If your slot is free, it will book a meeting for 8 p.m. So that is what is required from your side, because that. And secondly, a lot of people are concerned about the security and privacy. So this is completely safe and completely in your own control. So you have the control what permissions you are going to provide to N10. If you're just going to provide the read permissions, it can only read your own data, and it's not using it for any other purposes. It's an open source tool. If you would like to go through its code and verify if it's using your details or not, so it's totally open source. So you have the complete knowledge of how it performs. So that is why you can also host N10 on your own server as well. Even though if you have a spare PC on your home, you can just it's a simple Docker command. I don't know if you guys familiar with Docker or not. You can just run a single command of Docker on your own system and just keep it running. You'll have your own private AI agent on your own home server. So there are a lot of things that can be done. There are a lot of possibilities with agentic AI and N10 as well. So we're just going to go through some of these things, because obviously this is a workshop in which we'll be guiding everyone from base days to the next level, because we don't know at what level everyone is. So we're just going to start. So first of all, you'll be just receiving the emails right now. If you just set up the N10 account really quick, so we can move forward. Uh, till then, until you get the N10 account access, if you have connected to the internet, you can just go to this website, console.cloud.google.com, and you can just create your credentials for the Gemini. So you can have the API key which you will be using for the agentic AI. So basically, the AI, every decision in your workflow is going to be made by the AI. So you have to get the key. I have provided the steps till over here, and we have some steps on the next page as well. So you can just go over here and log into your account. You might need to create a new project over here. I already have created an N10 project, so you might need to create a new project over here for this workshop. So after the workshop, if you want, you can always delete your project. So everything, every access that you have provided to N10 can also be revoked and everything. So it's totally safe. So it's totally up to you on your console account. Okay, you just need to uh, open the Google Sheets API, and you'll have the API. You can see my API is already enabled, so you will have the enable this API button over here. So you can click that enable this API button. So the Google Sheets API will also be enabled. These are the basic tools, like when you're using agentic AI. So normally, for the beginners, we start with the Google products, for example, like Google Sheets, Google Drive, Google Calendar. So we can basically test and experiment how agentic AI works. So after that, we have some you can say complex things. We can also use webhooks. We can also use custom API requests. For example, if I have a very you can say I have a product. It's a blog website or it's a blog mobile application. So instead of having a separate resource who posts on daily basis, who just opens my website, who logs into the admin panel, creates a blog post, uploads an image, and then posts it on the daily basis. So instead of that, if I could have an automation, I have it triggered 2 times a day. For example, like one trigger can be done at 11 a.m. in the morning, one can be 11 p.m. In the night. So it will generate a content. It will fetch the latest blogs, the latest news regarding technology and IT, and after that, it will just create a blog post that is generated by AI, written for your website. Everything that you can give some sort of parameters, like the content should be like more humanized. It should not contain any tech words. I'll show all of those things to you. So basically, I have some automations planned for you as well, and we'll just go through and build all of those from scratch as well. So if this one is clear to you, we can just move forward. So I guess we have calendar left. If you have not enabled that, we also have the Google Calendar API. You can also enable this API on your account. And after that, when you have all these APIs implemented, then you just need to go to the auth screen. This is the auth consent screen. So over here, you need to create an OAuth, which is basically going to allow N10 to access your account. Over here, you can see in OAuth, you have the clients option. You can create a client from over here. So I'll just open the slide view as well. So these are the four links. These are the basically text fields that you will be seeing when you're trying to create a OAuth client ID. The application type, you have to select web application because it's a web application N10. So you can name the client anything. You can just name it workshop or N10 client, anything you want. And after that, this is the redirect URL. You'll receive it from your N10 account. Once your account is set up, you'll receive the email. In that account, you will receive this redirect URL. You can just add that over here, and then you can create the OAuth client, and you will be uh, easily able to access that. So once it is the accounts are shared with you, I'll go through all those process over here, so you can also connect all these services with your N10. So this is the most complex part of N10. Once these things are configured, you have everything linked on your account, then there's nothing hard. It's just drag and drop. It's like a canvas. You just draw things and it automatically works for you. So it's just like Lego blocks. If you know about Lego blocks, you just need to have blocks prepared. So you just take those blocks, assign it on your N10 workflow, and then it works perfectly fine. So I guess you can just go to this link. I'll also just copy and show you how we are going to use this. Open in Google Chrome. Okay, so once you log in, you'll be on this page. You can see I already have a key generated over here. So you can use the option over here. You can create an API key, name your key, and you have the project you have already created on your Google Cloud Console. You will be able to see it over here. So you can just use the same project and you can press the key, create key, and you will be able to see your key over here. So just make a notepad on your system, any notes in which you store your keys, because you might need them again and again. So instead of just going back and following all these steps, just make a note and write down all the keys. So after once we are onboarded to N10, you might need those keys again and again. So you have to store these keys on your system. Okay, so if anybody has faced any issues in any of these steps, you can just ask. I'll repeat the process.
Guys, if anyone is telling me raise your hand, I think give your mic so you can report the issue.
Okay, so until we are receiving the emails, you can just move forward. So we can just know about N10, what actually N10 is. We are talking about N10. So N10 is basically a workflow automation tool. It is totally open source. You can see it on GitHub. You can see its source code. You can just deploy it on your own system. You can deploy it on your own server. Even though if you're familiar with Hostinger as well, if you go to Hostinger and you purchase a plan of hosting, so it gives you an option if you want to host an N10 platform. So for example, you might have seen there are WordPress hostings, there are other Magento hostings and other server hostings. So same like that. Nowadays, we are also seeing that a lot of hosting companies are also providing N10 hosting service because it is free of cost. It's open source, so anyone can deploy it. So if a person is not that technical to deploy N10 itself on the server, so for example, like there are a lot of people that are working on WordPress, but they are not technical enough to deploy WordPress on their own server. So hosting companies basically they do that for you. So you just select that you want WordPress to be hosted on your server. So you will just be redirected to the direct admin page. You can just log into your WordPress. You can add your theme, and you can just do anything you want with your WordPress website. So it's same like that. We have N10, which is an automation tool, so it allows you to connect APIs, apps, different tools. So basically, anything you can think of in terms of automation, it's possible with Anything. Anything. If you want your applications data to be filtered, if you like have an application and you want to filter out the spam users, like if the multiple users with the same phone number, obviously we can have the filters to prevent those things. But if by any chance you are getting spam users or something, the data you want to be filtered on your website, on your mobile application, you can also integrate N10 for that as well. So it's just about how you think. So the anything that you think can be automated, the anything that is repeatedly in your like routine, like checking emails, like if you have 10, 15, or 20 emails that it's important for you to check. So you can just create an automation which will summarize all those emails daily in the morning. It will fetch all your emails. It will create a summary of those emails, and it will send you an additional email which will have the summary of all the emails for the day. So that's a very easy way to wrap the things. So there are different automations regarding email that I normally use. So I'll show those things as well. So the main thing for N10 is that it provides you a visual workflow editor. So obviously, we can't expect everyone to be that technical to go into VS Code or use any IDE to edit some things in the workflows, because agentic AI is something if we didn't had N10, then agentic AI is very complicated because you have to write code for every tool that you're going to use. For example, if you want Google Sheets to be integrated into your workflow, so you might need the integration for Google Sheets. So you have to code that in VS Code. You have to create a plugin for that. You have to put it in your project, and that you'll be able to use Google Sheets. So how N10 basically helps you is I'll just open over here so you can see. So I'll just showcase you all those things side by side. I have this option. So on app event, so you can see these are the products. You just keep scrolling, and it's almost never ending scroll. You have all the products that you can think of that you normally use. All automations are available over here. So it can be like over here, you can see you have the Twitter. So one automation which is very much people are very much using. So you also have the N10 marketplace as well. So if I go to N10 marketplace, you have pre-made automations that you can just copy and paste into your own system, and you can easily use those automations for yourself. You just need to add your own credentials with that, because the automations are just workflow. They don't come with you can say the authorizations and the accounts. So you can see we have 799 applications that can be integrated and that can be automated, in which this HTTP request, this is the most generic thing you can have over here. So for example, if I have an application, I have some post request or get request, I can just use this HTTP request method. My AI model decides that this data should be posted to your application. So it will just create an HTTP request on my behalf. It won't ask for my authorization. It won't just ask me, should I do this or not? I have authorized those things in N10. So it will basically perform all those tasks. So I'll just go to the marketplace for N10. So you have 5,934, almost 6,000 workflow automations available that are just a click away for you to use. Like you have personal life manager with Telegram, Google services, and voice enabled AI. So you can just speak with N10 and it will perform all the things that you actually want. So it's integrated with Google services. So it's just like I can use a kind of a voice note and I'll say, okay, just create a meeting for 8 a.m. It will do that for me. So it's just easy as that. So you have other things as well, like learn code with interactive hands-on tutorial, like generate AI viral videos with VO3 and upload to TikTok. So basically, if you want to go for content generation, if you want to create your own any content platform like TikTok or any YouTube Shorts, something like that. So you just need to integrate your AI models. So you have over here the things that are required for this automation. So you just need to have the API keys for all of those platforms. Like you can see, we have OpenAI chat model. Obviously, OpenAI chat model will be creating the script of that video. Obviously, the video should have a script because you're doing nothing over here. Everything is being done by N8N. So you might have the OpenAI chat model, which will create those things for you, which will plan what kind of video should be. It will create a complete plan, and then the other tools, they will be used to create the video, edit the video, and finally they will be uploaded to your TikTok account. So you have to integrate all of those things. So there are a lot of other templates as well. I have seen like crypto automations as well. You can just integrate your account of crypto. You can just top up some amount, and it can trade on your behalf as well. So there are endless possibilities what agentic AI can do for you. So those things have become very easy by the use of N8N, because N8N just provides plug and play things. If I click on this, for example, this is a generate AI viral videos. I just click on this. Now I have this automation over here. I'll just show you how simple it is to basically get these things from over here. So you can see this is the complete detail. It also provides you full documentation on Notion. You should provide the OpenAI connection. You have to set up, integrate VO3 into N8N. It comes up with its own documentation, which will help you to integrate. So if I want to use this workflow, what I just need to do is I just need to just a second. I can just use for free, or I can just use. I have the copy option over here, I guess. Come on, see. Just go to workflow and just use for free over here. Copy template to clipboard JSON. You got it copied on your clipboard, and you can just paste it over here, and the entire workflow is now in your own N8N. So it will now, if I just use the execute button over here, execute workflow, it will execute that, and then it will go for this, and it will ask me which models I want to use, which my personal account access is. So over here you can see the cross sign. This is, and it says an error. Credentials for OpenAI chat model are not set. So if I just double click on it, it will ask me to provide credentials. I don't have any OpenAI credentials yet, because for this workshop we have used Gemini. So we will be using Gemini, but it's it's still easy. I can just, if I want to, I can just move it over here. I can delete this link, and I can just create over here, and I'll just use Google Gemini chat model. I have the model over here selected, and I'll just go back. The model is replaced. As simple as that. You just don't need any technical knowledge for this stuff. So I didn't had OpenAI right now, so I just replaced it with Google Gemini. It's that easy. So I guess all of you might have received the email. So please check and let us know if anybody has not received, so we can make sure that person receives and we can get forward. Okay. Hello everyone who's on Gather. So we're just getting everyone access on N8N, so it might take a little bit while. So it's basically a workshop. So a seminar is usually a little bit different. So it's just like speaking and speaking, but it's a workshop, so we need to keep everyone in sync. Just give us a few moments. We're almost done. So once everyone has their N8N credentials and N8N access, so we can start the process. Everyone can learn while seeing the screen. So that's why it's taking a little bit of time. Just stay with us so we can keep doing our work. Thank you. I guess now most of you might have received the email and also configured N10 as well. If anybody is left, I guess they will also receive the email shortly. So in the meanwhile, you can just move through the, you can see, theoretical things which we need to understand before actually moving on to the workflows that's the practical thing that we have to do. So as you can see over here, it supports over 400 plus integrations, which are like actual products. You can see just like Google Sheets and other products that you can see, for example, like Airtable. If you're familiar with that, it's an alternative to Google Sheets. You can use different AI models as I've shown you in the actual workflow as well. So just before moving on towards the NA10 workflow, we have to understand the type of nodes. So basically, as I told you, that work N10 is basically kind of Lego blocks. These are just blocks. So we call those blocks the nodes. There are different kind of nodes that we have in N10. So for example, first of all, we have these trigger nodes. So basically, the trigger nodes are the nodes that actually trigger a pipeline. So for example, you have like a complete workflow designed that will do something, anything it could be. So there should be a starting point. Which thing is going to trigger that workflow? It could be either you manually press the start button, or you have it scheduled for 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or any time of the day. So that's are basically the trigger nodes which actually trigger a pipeline, which we call works over here. So after that, we have the action nodes, annotation of your data. So you can filter out the irrelevant things, or you can just include the things that you really want. So after that, we have AI custom nodes, which are basically the AI agents. We have a specific AI agent node in N10. So that is basically the main brain, which will ask you to connect a database, which will ask you to connect a chat model from which it will use to think about the things. And also it will use some other tools like Google products and all of those things. The API keys that we have recently collected for Gemini, for all of those things, those will be used in the AI custom nodes, because we're using this as an agentic AI. So there are two kinds of AI options. So we'll go in the next slide and we can see that as well. So basically, there are two things. The first thing was the traditional workflows, which don't have the ability to make a decision on something. So, for example, if I have a traditional workflow, it will just perform the steps that I have mentioned. That search for 50 emails, it will search all those 50 emails, and then it will use anything that is provided in the workflow, and it will just perform those things. But what agentic AI has evolved over here, the agentic AI can actually make decision on your behalf. So, for example, if I want something like related to any decision, I have a Google Sheet. I will ask it that what is the quantity I have for. I have a Google Sheet for inventory management. I have my complete inventory listed on my Google Sheet. So I can ask my agentic AI that what is the total amount of, like, for example, books I have in my inventory. It will give me the total number of books. So that is agentic AI. It can think on your behalf. It can calculate the results on your behalf. So the normal workflows require each and everything. So for example, if you just need to calculate some few things, you can't do those with the traditional workflows because it does not have the ability to think. So if you ask this AI, agentic AI workflows that I have like 10 products listed in my inventory, every product has an inventory number, every product has a price, every product could be in a different warehouse. So just considering e-commerce in your mind, your product might not be in the same warehouse or in the same location. So instead of searching for those things in your, you'll have hundreds or 200 products in your list. So it's hard to go and search, but the better and easy way is you can just write a prompt, or you can use your voice prompt and ask that I have a product named, for example, a book cover or a laptop case. So in which warehouse do I have it? So it will tell you, it will think about it, it will search your Google Sheet, and it will tell you that your item, laptop case, is in this warehouse, is at this location, it has this quantity, and it has this price. So it will filter out the data for you. So that is basically why agentic AI is more in, you can say, tradition right now. Everyone is moving towards agentic AI because everybody needs to have some load off of their back. Obviously, there are a lot of tasks that can be automated. Everybody has some tasks like going through emails, doing some automated responses. So, for example, if we have a normally, we do use Google Forms. Everybody uses them for data collection or all of these things. So in Anatan, you have your own forms thing. So if you create a form with every field, it's just like Google Forms. You can create a drop down, you can create a text field, you can create a multiple choice questions kind of thing. So if you basically use that, so when the user will enter the complete details on the form, at that point, it will automatically use those data. It will process it accordingly. For example, if I have created a form for job application, I have a vacancy in the company and I have created the form in which you can go and apply. So when you fill out the form, it will collect your CV from over there. It can use that CV. It can make an automated screening process. For example, if I have a mobile application developer CV, I'll filter out the CV and I'll see if that application contains the experience of mobile developer. You can just read the CV in Agentic AI. So it will read the CV. It will see, for example, I have the requirement that the person should have 3 years of experience or 4 years of experience. So my agentic AI workflow will read the CV on behalf of me. It will see how much experience that the person has. So, for example, if I receive like 200 CVs on my email for the hiring process, I don't need to go through all those 200 emails. Agentic AI will filter those emails, and I would only be able to review like 10, 20, or 30. It will automatically filter out those emails. So that is why nowadays it is really important to keep your CV obviously updated. So there are a lot of AI workflows right now in the market. So if you're just applying, you're not getting a good response from the companies or some like Indeed, you have Indeed in which where you can apply. So a lot of companies now use basically agentic AI for CV filtering and those things which we call ATS as well, applicant tracking systems. So those systems normally use agentic AI to filter out those things according to the requirements. So that is how it will save you a lot of time. So I would need like 200 CVs, which if I have to review, it will obviously take me like 2 days or 3 days because you have to carefully see the experiences, the projects, and everything. But if I'll have like only 10 or 20 CVs, I can do it in few hours. It is saving me time. So that is the main goal of agentic AI. It saves your time. Time is very important in this era. It's a really fast world right now. So you have to save your time as much as you can because these things are made to save your time. So that's all for the theoretical thing. Now we'll just get into the workflow. So if anybody still has not received an email yet, so you can Mohsin, he still hasn't received the email. Sure. Can you please check again? It's shared, I guess. Okay, so for the first workflow, we have email to Google Sheets. So basically, the emails that you'll receive, those will be automatically saved to Google Sheets. You can use it for multiple purposes, like if you're working in a sales department and you have a single email that receives all the things that is required for by the team. So you don't want to share the email access. So you can just use this workflow, which will fetch all the emails that is received on that email, and it will uh, add those in the Google Sheet. So you can give your team the access of Google Sheets. So obviously, this is a very common approach that is used in the company. So every person might not be able to get the access of the main email, which is used for the marketing or the sales purposes. So they can get access to all the emails. So instead of asking the main person who is in charge that have you received an email, instead of asking for follow-ups again and again, they can easily log into the Google Sheets and see if they have received any email regarding the thing they are looking for. For example, they have even if they have sent some email to someone. So obviously, the other thing is same like as I said, every person in the sales department, there could be some juniors, there could be some internees, so they are not allowed to get the actual main email, which is directly in touch with the client. So we can create a basic interface in N10. It will be like a chat model. So the user can basically write over there. For example, if I have a user like John at the rate of somecompany.com, so I'll write a prompt over there that hello, I want to send an email to this person. This is the email, and I want to ask him regarding our recent conversation. Is he interested, or do we have to schedule a meeting further if you want some other knowledge? So obviously, we don't know if that person has good vocabulary, good conversational skills as well. So AI will write the email for you. So you can be so sure that AI is going to write the email for you, so it won't have any mistakes or anything. So you can also add in the workflow. So every time the email is composed, it will have the sign under it by a specific person. So for example, if I own that email and I have given access to 5 other people, that you can use this automation to send email to different clients. So whenever they use that automation, in the end of the email, like you have best regards or uh, anything it could be. So at the end of that, the signing off, which we usually call that signing off the email, so those signing off will be done as I have instructed the AI. We'll see over here that how we can instruct AI about these things. So we will instruct AI that every time the email is being generated, you should sign off by my name. So even if I have 5 other members, I don't want any other member to be directly in touch with the client or share any contact details with the client. I can mention that don't include any contact information in the email and don't include any other name rather than mine. So it won't allow the other person to basically involve any other thing, any material that could possibly result in a direct communication with the client. So there are a lot of things, a lot of factors that we have. So we can use anything. As I said, it's an endless thing. You can think about anything and it's possible in anytime. You have no limitations over here. So just for the first step, as I said, we have some trigger nodes. So basically, you can oversee, you have trigger manually option, you have the on schedule, on webhook call, or on app event. So basically, on app event is like if uh, an app does something, then it will be triggered. Like Gmail is an app. If it receives an email, it's a trigger. If user sends an email, that could be a trigger. So there are a lot of triggers. So we have a manual trigger on app event. We'll just see some triggers over here. So we have different products that basically support triggers. So we have the complete AWS solutions over here: AWS Certificate Manager, DynamoDB, IAM, Lambda function. So basically, you can completely automate your deployments as well. So it's just so much to think about. You have base row. It's the list gets longer. So we'll just go for the Google products. As I said, we'll just go for Gmail. I'll just click on Gmail. So you can see these are the triggers. We have action nodes as well, but these are the trigger nodes that on message received, whenever I receive an email, this workflow will be triggered. So I'll just enable this, and I have my Gmail account already linked. So the credentials that I basically got you created recently. So this is you will be able to see create new credential button on your screen. So you can just click on create new credential. You have the OAuth 2. You need to select this. And this is the redirect URL which you might need to add in your Google client. So over here in the Google Cloud, in the client section, you guys obviously have enabled Gmail, Google Sheets, and all of the other products. So you just need to go to the create client option in this clients. So basically over here, you go to navigation menu, you go to APIs and services and credentials. After that, you'll see this clients option. So you can just go over here, click web application, select any name over here you want it. It could be seminar, workshop, Agentic AI, my first project, anything. It could be random. There's no restriction on this. So once you name it, so you have the option to add authorized redirect URIs. So you can add a URI over here. Just copy this and you can paste it over here. And that's all you need to do. So just after that, you have the create button over here. Just press create and you're done. You'll get the client, you'll get these two things: client ID and client secret. So you have to copy those and also paste that in a notepad so you keep a track of all those things. So because all the API keys, all the API secrets, all these things, you have to keep them saved in your notepad or something. So these are the things that might be needed again. So normally they're added once, but it's always better to keep them stored somewhere. So if you need them again and again, so you don't need to create these things again. So once you've done this, I'll just go through this and I'll just show you as well. I'll just create. So now you'll have the client ID and the client secret over here. So I'll just use that client ID over here and I'll just use the client secret over here. After I paste these things, I'll get the sign in with Google button on my N8N. So if you have performed the steps still over here, you can just let me know. So basically, we will move forward. So we will have the sign in with Google option, which basically allows us to sign in our account and authenticate it on our N8N. If anybody is having any issues or any problems in these steps, you can just let me know, and I'll help you out with that. Just to boost up these things to speed up the process, we're just going to use some other agentic AI workflows that are in the loop. So you can have a look at those. So you can just try out these things. So I'll just provide you the steps how you can replicate this on your own system as well. So the best approach is to basically self-host your N8N. So because this is an organizational N8N, so it has some sort of restrictions regarding the emails that we use. So you can use rather other all things, for example, like creating workflows and all of those things. You can make them active as well. So just for the Google services, those are kind of restricted over here, but you have the option to add service account over here. So you can also use that. So it will also take some more time. So we're just moving forward. So things are speeded up for you because obviously we're pretty late. We have 3 workflows to cover right now. So normally, if you just add the client ID and the client secret over here, so you'll see the sign in with Google option. So you can press that, and you'll be able to, after you close this, you'll be able to see your Gmail account over here. So if you have tried this, you can just close that error box that you received, and you'll be still be able to see the Gmail account. So it is linked, but it's partially linked due to the restrictions on the organizational environment. So moving forward, just for the blank. So as we were discussing, this is the trigger node. So this basically triggers the endpoint whenever some email is received. So for example, I'll just go to I'll just create everything over here. So for example, I have a Gmail trigger. So once everything is when a trigger is executed, the email is received, we have the Google Sheets also linked over here. So you have the option to create a spreadsheet, you have the option to delete a spreadsheet, and we'll just append a row in the sheet. So you have the option to perform any task on your Google Sheet. It is same for every other tool as well. So for example, if you have the Google Drive, if I'll search, for example, I'll just go back and I'll search over here Google Drive. So you have the option to copy file from text. You can download a file, move a file, share a file. So basically, when you're dealing with the workflows that involve file sharing, for example, you have a workflow that basically creates a video for your social media account and it has to share that. So for that purposes, it will save that to your Google Drive. Then you can use that Google Drive's link to upload that file onto some other platform. So basically, these are things that you need to learn. So the basic thing that N8N offers you is the complete automation flows, but you have to perform sequentially. You can't just directly go into the result. So you have to, the only thing that is time taking over here is you have to completely organize all the steps. So just for this, when I have received an email, I just want to, let's say, spreadsheet. I'll just go to Google Sheets and I want to append the row in a sheet. So I have my Google account over here already linked, which I have told you how to do that. So it's really easy. If you guys still face any issues, we'll provide you a proper support channel in which you can just message or you can drop an email if you feel any issues. So our team will be able to assist you in that as well. So you have the option to append row. Now, as I have my Google Sheets account linked over here, I have the option to select the documents from my list. So I will have the testing N8N over here. This is what I made for this purpose. It's already active. So let's just first turn off that workflow N8N.must.com. Okay. So now over here you can see this is an active workflow. I'll just close this and now we have this one. Okay. So now I have that in my other email. I'll just move back to my other email, which I have. Okay, just pause and okay. Now over here, go back, I'll just create the sheets and append row in a sheet. Have testing and attend. We have this. We have this complete. I'll just delete all the data. I'll just keep the title and the content intact. I'll just delete all these mails that I have already an active workflow. So now you can add different fields over here. So it's up to you what data you want it to save. It's totally up to you. So I just wanted four things to be saved over here. One is title, the other one is content, then we have the sender, and then we have a summary. So if I want the AI model to generate a summary of the email, some of the times you might receive very long lengthy emails regarding anything, a project brief or something. So you can use AI to basically sum up all those things. So it will be easy for you. So I'll just use testing and attend, and the sheet is going to be sheet one. Obviously, if you'll just go over here, you can see this is the sheet one that we're using. You can use the sheet one for this purposes. And now you can see the values to send. It has the title, content, sender, and summary. So everything is available over here. I'll just select it. I just don't need to add anything else. I'll just click and I'll execute workflow. I'll just make it active. So, okay, so now it is activated on my email. So, can you everyone please send an email to my anything? So now the workflow is over here and our file is empty. So I'm just not going to do anything. It's just going to uh, append the row in the sheet. Just a second. Let me just do one thing. For example, if I just run this trigger, the first one problem, I knew it will have a problem because I have to map each column manually. I'll just map automatically. Now if I could just so over here now you can see over here I executed the Gmail trigger, so it has shown me the content of the last email that I had on my mail. So I can now select these are all drag and drops. I can just drag anything and paste over here. So values to send, you have the add columns to send everything, append row. Let's just say, let me just move this somewhere up. Okay. Uh, so look for incoming data. Let me show the column in the Google Sheets. So now I'll head over here, map column manually, and we'll just title. We have these title, content, sender, and summary. These are the four fields that we have in our this spreadsheet file. So how easy it is, you can just click, for example, for the title, I'll have it over here. Let me search for it. Subject. This is the subject. I'll just move it. So now this is my title set. Now I have the content. So I'll just search where I have the content. So this is the snippet. This is the content of the email. I'll just drag. I'll drop it over here. Now I have the content set. So now I have the sender. So what value should the sender have? So it's from this is the sender. So I'll just drag. I'll paste it over here. So now this is the from and the summary. Just for summary, for now I'll just add the subject in the summary so it works perfectly fine. So I'll just execute this step now and you'll see I have the email, everything over here in my spreadsheet. So basically this will automatically work. I won't need to do anything. So I have this now active. I have also performed this. Now I'll run again and it will just, the email Abdul Rahman just sent to me. So I just got it over here. I didn't do anything. So my workflow was active. So I'll just let me see over here. We sent another email. So the workflow is active. It won't wait for anything, but it will be automatically triggered when somebody sends you an email. So you don't need to just refresh the email, refresh or anything. So whenever you'll receive an email, it will be shown over here. On the other hand, over here, you can see the executions. So you can see if you faced any error or now you can see automatically the trigger just ran, I guess. No, it was the old one. It auto refreshes. You don't need to do anything. So basically, it's the very basic thing. You can do it anytime. The most basic thing, but it onboards you that how to use anytime. So it's a very basic thing, but you'll feel accomplished that I have done something on anytime, so I can do more. So that's why the first thing that we normally do on anytime is to perform these simple tasks, so you can just get more confident on using the product. So basically, this is the simplest thing. Now we just move to a little bit advanced workflow. So for that purposes, I'll just show you. I'll create a new. Uh, Alex, I haven't received the email yet. I guess. No worries. I'll just go for. I'll just save this. I'll just keep that active. No issues. Now the second workflow is about scraping RSS feed. I don't know if you guys familiar with RSS or not. RSS is basically a kind of a data thing. It's a data format. So normally in nowadays we use JSON, but in earlier times when we used C sharp, when we had C++, the most common format to share data in APIs and other things was RSS. So it's basically a kind of an XML, you can say. So it was the most common thing which we used to share our data in the APIs. So now uh, almost all the blog websites, news websites, they have an RSS feed because they are not providing you their internal APIs or something. You have seen a lot of applications that are kind of linked with each other, but they are linked with each other via RSS because RSS provides the updated data field. So, because I'll just go over here and I'll use tech blogs RSS feed. So you'll see a lot of technology blogs that basically relates to our field. So the top one is TechCrunch. So this is the feed URL techcrunch.com/feed. So I'll just use TechCrunch, techcrunch.com/feed. This is basically every blog website normally has this RSS feed which you can use. Now you can see this is in the form of tags, HTML tags, you can say. So you don't need to worry about this because you're not going to read this. Your AI agent and all of those things, they will automatically read all of these things and you just don't need to worry about anything. So let's just get one more feed. It could be this one, wired.com. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So now you can see this is in the XML format, which I told you. So this is also in the form of like HTML components. It has the raw data field, which has the timeline and it has the title, link, anything that you need for a blog. And it has everything that should be over there. So we have these two blogs. So now we'll just go to our workflow. We'll in this workflow, we will be using Agentic AI. So for this purpose, I'll just it trigger it manually because I don't want any. I can use the automation over here. For example, if I want it to trigger on a schedule, I can see like it could be in days, days between triggers one, trigger at midnight, trigger at minute. You can just select any time at which you want this trigger to be applied. So this will execute the trigger at that time. So we just don't want to wait. So we'll just trigger it manually when we'll press this execute workflow. So after that, we have the option to set edit fields. As I told you that now at this point, we don't have any previous node that is providing us any data. So in the Gmail part, we had a previous node which was triggered automatically by receiving an email. So at that point, we had the content of the email which was being shown over here. At this node, we don't have any input because this is the starting node of our workflow. So when we have such fields, such workflows, so normally we use this set fields, edit fields. It's like a variable initialization. So you just create a variable and you assign some values to it, which will be used further into other fields. So you'll be using your loop over here, your data initialization. So I'll just use manual mapping and I'll create, you can say it could be RSS. So it could be an array because we have multiple values. I'll just expand this and how we use typ- typically define an array. We have wired, then we have our So TechCrunch. So you can also add TechCrunch over here. Now the last element in the array does not need to have a comma at the end. So that's how the syntax normally is. So you have edited the value. You can now close. You have it over here, and you can just execute step. And now you can see over here your data is in the form of a variable. Now you have some input that can be moved on towards some other nodes. So we'll just move over here. So these are the basic things that you need to learn if you're creating something, some workflows, because data segmentation is the main thing over here. Because other than that, all of the things are already automated. Like the Gmail trigger, we didn't have to do anything. It already triggered, it already fetched the data. So these are the things that you have to do manually. Other than that, all of the things you have over here are automatically. So we have this split option over here, I guess. Turn a list item into separate items, because we have an array over here. So we want to use a kind of for loop. So we want to iterate between these items. So I'll use the split. So now we have the RSS over here. So I'll just execute step. And now you can see we have two items. Now it's not a one array with two elements. These are two separate items. So now we have these links. So the easiest thing now is you have the RSS reader in n8n. So you have the RSS feed links. You just need to provide the links to this RSS reader, and rest of the work is being done by RSS uh, read itself. So I'll just provide a URL. As you can see, the only thing I'm doing is just dragging from over here and dropping in the fields over here. It's nothing complicated. So if I just execute this step, the provided URL is not valid. Let me see. Okay, we need to have HTTPS proper over here. That's the mistake we did. Okay. Just copy and I'll just go to over here and so we'll just paste. We'll execute step. And just execute this step and where's read executing node. Now, as you can see, we have 70 items over here. As you can see in the RSS feed page, this was not in a readable format. It was pretty hard to understand what is written over here. And this is also really hard to understand for a normal human eye. But over here now you can see it's pretty much categorized into these things. You can see the creator, you can see the title, you can see the link, and all things, published date, who is the creator, content snippet, everything in a very precise and very categorized manner. So now from over here, we can, now we have 70 items. As you can see, we have 70 items. Now we want to merge all of those things into single input, you can say. Just check. Just check. Yeah. Just, now we have the categories over here. Sorry, just a second. You have the box over here. So it's aggregate. So basically these are some things that you need to combine field from many items into a list. So you have like put field name, individual fields. Now you have this RSS read. Okay, sorry. So over here, you basically, these are the basic things that you need to see. For example, we have the splitting, aggregate, RSS read. These are the basic things that you need to understand. So first of all, the first step that we did was we added our variable, we initialized a variable with our different URLs that we are using for scraping the data. So this is the basically we used two you can see fields over here, two websites. Then we splitted our website. We made a separate URL for all the entity for those. And then we used RSS read. Basically, this is splitting out. So this RSS read process will be used double time. For example, it will first read the data from the first one and then the second URL. And then it will combine all the data. So now you have the RSS read. After that, you have the aggregate function in which you can just use the individual fields and you can add the input field name. For example, I'll just show over here. Input field name is, we have the variables over here, RSS street, okay, content snippet. So we'll just add it over here. Now it's still drag and drop. Now if I execute the step, so now you can see content snippet. Now we have all the entries in a single variable. So now all the news, all the tech news that I scrapped are now in a single variable that I can now use to summarize. So now here comes the actual interesting part that we all are waiting for. So that is basically agentic AI model. Now we are using AI agent over here. So basically we have just move over here and I'll just go back to canvas so you can see better. So now you can see we have an AI agent. This is basically the brain of AI that we are going to use. So we have the chat model, which is going to be used. So we have different models over here. If I click on the over here, you can see we have Anthropic, we have Azure, we have AWS Bedrock, we have DeepSeek, and we have Gemini, Vertex, Grok, Mistral. There are a lot of chat models over here. You can also use OpenAI. So just for this purposes, today we have Google Gemini. So I'll just click on Gemini. I already have connected. So if you want to link your Gemini API key that I got you created, you can just paste that API key over here, and that's all. It's linked. So now you can use Gemini in your project as well. So you have different models to select from because every model has their own capability. Some models are specialized for creating text. Some are specialized for generating images. Some are specialized for, understanding the audio that you share. So for every workflow that you're going to use, you have to make sure that you select the right model for it. That's you can just ask the chat GPT that which model is best for voice summarization if you want to use. So it's totally up to you, but you have to make sure that that model should support that feature as well, because in chat gpt, in openai, if you talk about some models, every model does not support image input. So for example, if I provide an image to chat gpt that please summarize the things in the chat, in the image that you can see, so every model will not be able to understand the image. So there are only specific models in every you can say company, you can say openai, grok, or Gemini. Every model is not capable of images or audios. So for over here, we're using Gemini 2.5 Flash as a chat model over here. So now we have the chat model linked with our AI agent. Now we also need to have a memory over here. So just I'll just show you one more thing over here, which is a very fun thing that you can do over here. I'll just create a new AI agents. You don't have any limit to create basically the AI agents or something. You just AI agent, and we have the connected chat trigger node, and I'll just add a chat trigger. Okay, so now I'll just go back. So now we have a chat trigger, and I have just linked it with this AI agent. So now you can see that we have the chat input, we have back, and now I'll just add it with this. I'll just add the Gemini over here too. So this is the basic, most basic, you can say Gemini model the AI agent I can ever build. So this is, you just forget the above flow. We'll go onto that for just to make you understand these things. So I have a chat node, which is basically the trigger node that I said. It executes a workflow, and we have an AI agent which will use the Google Gemini chat model. So over here, I have the option. I have, as you can see, like a chat GPT interface. So I have over here, hello, how is your day? So it's now working as a chatbot, but currently we haven't provided it anything. So Gemini is a little bit slow. So as you can see, hello, as an AI, I don't experience days or have personal feelings. It's an AI. So you don't have the ability to basically go through a lot of things over here. So, but the other thing that I want to explain over here is that we don't have a memory linked with it yet, which means it will not keep the context of your conversation. It will not store anything. It won't remember anything. So, how we're going to test it? So, just I'll type it. Repeat the sequence after me, like one, one, two, three. Okay, give me your sequence. I'll just say one, two, three. It didn't remember my sequence. It just said go. It should have said dot dot four. Now it didn't had the context what chat we had before. So just how to fix this is it's a very basic thing. So if you're just making it on you can say your IDE in your coding experience, it will be a really big thing to do. But over here you just need to click on memory, you click on simple memory, and the context window length, how many past interactions the model should receive as context. It should keep a track of how many previous messages. So just keeping it very basic, we're going to use the past 5 messages. So I'll just go back. Now we have the memory linked over here. Now I'll reset the chat session and now I'll say repeat the sequence after me. Let's start with one, two, three. Move on with the sequence. Sorry, I guess I didn't explain it clearly. Don't repeat. Add further to the sequence. Let's start. One, two, three. So now it has say one, two, three, four. So if I now say one, two, three, four, and five, now it says six. Now it remembers what we are discussing about. It now keeps the context of our conversation. But if I remove the simple database, simple memory from over here. Now you can see the count two over here. It has our past two messages stored in the database. So this is the simplest memory, simplest database that you can have over here. So this was basically a very simple workflow to tell you about how the AI agent basically performs over here. What is the role of the memory, the DB over here, and what is the role of the chat model over here. So other than that, you have this tool option, as you can see. This tool is basically all your workflows, all your personal things. For example, your Gmail account, your Google Calendar, your any application that you want the workflow to work with. So those will be added over here in the tool section. So I have made some a little bit complex workflows as well because we don't have very much time for this workshop. So just to make things more clear, I have already prepared some things. I'll showcase that to you as well. So just adding the memory over here, simple memory, and okay, connected chat trigger node. Now we have the memory over here, and in the AI agent, we can go to back, and we in the Gemini model, we have everything's configured. We can just add just a message. So as I said, now we know that this AI agent has the is going to receive the data. I'll just run these steps. So basically, it reaches that point where we actually have the data. So it's just going to RSS read error in subnode. Okay, in AI agent node, it is going to get an error obviously because we have the connected chat trigger node over here. In the AI agent, we have two kinds of nodes that can it start with. So the first one is connected chat trigger node, which we have already seen that you have the option to provide any input to the AI agent. But the other one is to define. So in over here, we will define the AI agent that what are you going to do. So basically over here, I'll tell it summarize the tech news in a humanly format so it is very easy for everyone to understand. Okay, so now I'll just add a system message over here that you are in the system message. Normally you write what is AI agent going to do. For example, we can write a system message that you are a trading an analyzer. You have to analyze the crypto prices or something like that. You have to tell the AI what is your role over here. So you just need to define the role in the system message. So I'm just going to write you are a summarize in message or content summarizer. You have to summarize is the content in a very human format, removing any keywords that are included in the news. The article, the data you want to summarize is now we have this content snippet over here. We'll just paste it over here. Now it has the complete JSON, which is the complete uh, data we have scrapped earlier in our nodes. So I'll just execute this step. Let's see what error are we getting. Okay, so now it's error.session ID. We don't have the session. The simple memory. Okay, so for this purpose, we don't need the memory, so we'll just delete that and you can just execute the step because we're not saving anything. It's just being processed and it's going to move forward as it is. So as we're using a free model over here, it takes a little bit of time, 1.5 minutes. So, but as long as you are using a premium models, so they have better response rate. So this can be done in a very fast time. But as these workflows are being run in the background, you don't have to check upon them. So for example, if I have scheduled this workflow for 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm sleeping at the time and my workflow is running. So I don't need to worry about it, even if it's take 1 minute or 2 minutes or even half an hour, because I'm not actually waiting for it. So over here, you can see we have the input and I just can't really see the output over here. Let's just over here, we'll just use the anything we can use markdown because I expect this is going to be in a markdown. Okay. So this is the output that we got from our AI agent. So this is basically in, you can say, normally if you use OpenAI and we try to copy stuff, so it copies like this. It has the bold thing separately, like double stars or this. This is called Markdown. So if you're using GitHub, so GitHub also has a readme.md file by default in every repository. So that's a Markdown file. So it has the data stored in the form of Markdown. So our goal is we have to summarize all these things and we have to send it to the email. So for that purposes, we have to convert our markdown to HTML because emails are normally sent in an HTML format. So we have just added a node over here that is HTML to markdown, but we can convert it both ways, markdown to HTML or HTML to markdown. So I'll just click on it and I'll just do markdown to HTML and markdown. I have this output. I'll just paste it over here and I'll just execute step now. This was the data output and now it's in the form of HTML. Now you can see it has the paragraph, it has the unordered list, it has the strong, it is bold. So everything has been formatted into HTML. So that is now very easy for us to understand. So now this is the final thing that we needed. So now we just need to send it to our email. So I'll just go to the next step and we'll just select Gmail and I'll just send a message. And I'll use my Gmail account and I'll send a message. The purpose is to send to, I'll just send it to my same email from which I'm authorized. And subject will be tech news for today. email type is HTML, and the message is the output. This is the markdown. Make sure you don't select this one. This is the data. You'll just select the data over here, and it has the complete thing over here. And now I'll just execute this. And over here now it says that the mail is sent. So now we have our workflows running. So I'll just show you just a second. We have a testing unit and Google Sheets. We also have our workflow for receiving the mails, testing N10. Because it's not running, but I'll just check. Okay, so now I have received the email. So now you can see how easy it was in the form of this was the data that we scrapped. It's not in a readable form, so it's really hard. And so who is going to read all of these lines? But now you can see in the mail, making your life easier, gadgets, and here's the summary of latest tech news explained in a simple human way. So regarding everything, how to travel smart, comfy workspace. So these are the different categories the news is about. Coffee time, smart home upgrades, printers and chargers, pet tag, keeping cool. What's new in AI and softwares, open AI updates, AI chat tricks, new AI players. So the complete information regarding different, you have scrapped it from multiple sources. So you just don't need to go to different blogs. So basically, what other things you can do with this is you have got the articles from different websites. You can use this to create a simple like a summary of newspaper, like it's providing newsletter to the users. You have some big list of tech users in your feed, or your application has some tech users. You can simply just use this to, it's like a newsletter. So you want to provide the latest tech news to your users. You use multiple sources to fetch the data. So basically, TechCrunch and Wired are the very famous, you can say, news providers in the era of tech. So you can use those are very basic. So just for your understanding, you can just create a workflow on your system. You can just add an AI agent, and all of those things. These steps are pretty easy if you've understood. But if you want to just learn about AI agent, you can just create a new workflow over here. You can just go to AI and create an AI agent from over here. And after that, just provide the Gemini model and just provide a simple DB and try to interact with the chat agent, so you'll understand how it works. So you can just start after you just process something, then we'll move on to the next workflow. If you have any questions regarding this, you can ask. So I'll be happy to answer all those things. Okay, so the question was that how we can integrate. Hello, hello. एक time पे चलाते हैं. Okay, so basically the question was, how can we integrate AI agent and other AI models within our own product, own website or blogs? So basically, as I told earlier, that we have an option of custom request, HTTP request, which will be mostly used when we are basically using N10 for our own products. So first of all, I'll just go over here and you can see HTTP request. So whenever you have your own product, you have your own application that you want to link with the N10 automations. So for example, if I have, I'll just assume a scenario. I have a product. It's like a blog website, or it's like a news website or news app, which has a lot of product, a lot of news to be listed over there, or an e-commerce which has a list of products. So obviously, when you have developed an application, such applications like blog or news, so the basic get endpoint for the news will be public. Obviously, it will not be secured with JWT or any other security tokens. So you can use the get method over here. You can post the URL of your get method, which will be retrieving all the information. So after you enter your endpoint over here, which has a simple get, I'll just try to use that. We have the JSON placeholder API. I'll just, because it has some basic get met APIs, free fake REST API. You can use this for testing purposes. So over here you have this post and the comments also. Just wait for it to load. Okay, so this is basically the comment section, the comment API. I can add it over here. I'm not sending any body. I'm not sending any headers or query parameter, non authentication. I'll execute this. Now I've got all the response from the that API. So over here, if I go, this is the type of response normally we do get in our application. This is JSON. So you can typically do anything over here. So for example, if you have a JWT secured, so you have some API endpoints that are secured with some credentials, you can use the authentication over here. You can do predefined credentials, generic credential types. So after you make those authorizations, then you will also be able to use those API endpoints which are secured in your website. For example, like posting data to your website. Just like I said, now you have scraped the blog data, but you want these blogs to be posted on your own website. So obviously the posting endpoint will be secured by admin credentials or something like that. So you don't want everyone to post. So just for that reason, you'll just use the authentication over here. So after your application is authenticated over here, you can just post the data, because as you can see over here, you have the input. If I create like send body, I've enabled this. So I have the option to send the data in the form of JSON. I can use the field below in the name. If I've it says wire me up, because obviously we don't have a node previous than that. Let me just go over here. So from a markdown, we can just create an additional node and we'll just drag it. So it's that easy. You just need to click on it, drag, and now if I go over here, now execute previous nodes. So now I will get the data over here as well. So once I get the data over here, I can simply use the drag and drop. So for example, I'll just need to name it's like I would say blog data. Definitely in JSON, you have to have some key or value, which is key value pair. How JSON normally works. So now we have the name and its value. So once we get the data over here from the previous nodes, you can just drag that and drop it over here. It's as simple as that. You drop the value data over here and you execute this step. So that data will be sent to your API endpoint. For example, now we have got over here data. Just drag and drop it over here. Now the data of the JSON will be sent with this parameter. So on your backend server, you can receive the block data with this key pair. So it's that simple. So if you see like we don't have like actual method to test out post request, but we can do get request on fake APIs. So this is how we use the get, and it's pretty much the same. You just need to authorize your application over here. Once it is authorized, you just need to provide some credentials over here. For example, credential type could be anything, like it could be API or it could be bearer token that we normally use. So you can use your bearer token over here. So once the application is using the JWT token, so you will be able to access any API of your product. So is this clear, or do you have any question? Yeah. Hello, hello. Hmm? Hmm. Walaikum salam. Hmm. 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 तो उसमें हमारा डेटा कई के आगे पास रहा है जैसे थर्ड पार्टी ऐप यूज कर तो उसका कोई बैकग्राउंड है basically N10, as I've told earlier, N10 is an open source solution. So it's hosted on your own server. As you can see, this is our company's domain, n10.mus.company. This is our company's domain on which we have this hosted. So the entire data is stored on your own server. So you have an option over here, which I'll show you, N10 self-hosted. If you're concerned about that, you can just use N10 self-hosted option. Basically, it is a product which does not use the data because you have provided every consent, you have the keys, you have everything provided by yourself. So over here, you can just go to the docs, self-host N10. And as I told, the Docker is the most easiest way to deploy N10 on your own system. You can just need to install Docker before proceeding. Install Docker, and Docker desktop is available from Mac, Windows, Linux, any platform that you use. After downloading that, you just need to uh, open the terminal or command prompt, anything that you have on your system. This is the first command, and this is the second command, and that's it. N10 will be running on your own system. So you don't need to access any website or something. It will be running like local host colon like 5432. It has something port like that. So you can see this is the easiest method if you are concerned. But for this purpose, you would need to keep your system running for the purposes. So for example, if I have created a pipeline, a workflow that needs to be triggered at 7 a.m. every day. So at 7 a.m., my system on which the N10 is running should be also active at that time because it's obviously connected with the internet. So that is the time when it will execute the workflow. So it's going to take some time because it downloads N10 completely on your system and then it executes. So that's why I can't perform it over here, but you can try it on yourself. Most probably, if you'll just install Docker and try these commands, you won't face any issues because these are just simplest commands, and normally nobody gets any issues on this because it's totally managed by Docker. That is why Docker is the best platform that we use for deploying things because it's kind of a virtual environment that it creates. So even if your system has some dependencies that it needs or it does not have those dependencies, it will still work. So that is why we have used Docker for these purposes. So you can use Docker and install it. And if you are concerned with the privacy, normally it's secure because obviously it is an open source product, so you don't need to worry about anything because there are a lot of testers out there who are testing for these things continuously. So if anybody feels like it has some kind of a breach or something that it steals your data, so it should have been on LinkedIn by right now. So everybody is using this product, so it's pretty much safe, secure, and that's why it's still running in the market. And a lot of people and companies are also migrating their workflows to N10 because it's really hard to create the workflows by yourself if you're hard coding those things. So that is why N10 is the best solution because I have shown you a lot of things. We have summarized, we have scrapped. If you're going for Python for scraping the such thing, you would spend a lot of time because you need to format the data that you have received. You have to migrate from over here, data fetching from over here, and just combine all of those things. Then you have to integrate third party API, which is OpenAI or Gemini. Then you have to send the data to that OpenAI or Gemini model. Then you receive the response. Then you send an email. So that's a lot of hassle. But you have once you have linked those accounts, as you saw, I already linked those accounts in my N10, so I didn't need to integrate them again and again. So it's just a one-time thing. So once you integrate those things, your workflows are pretty much smooth. So you can just think of anything and you start implementing. So this is, as I told, this is the most hardest thing that we have done in N10 is is onboarding to N10, like integrating your Google, your Gmail, your Google calendars, your every product that you use that you want to automate. That is the most hardest part in N10 because that requires a lot of effort, obviously, because those are a little bit technical things that you would see. But other than that, while you're using N10, there's nothing difficult over here. You can just see everything is just drag and drop. You can just press the plus button over here. You can just say if you have a think tool, tick, and there are other things. If you're using TikTok, TikTok has some custom APIs. That is why N10 also has some available workflows which you can use. So basically, you can use those third party tools like the request one. I've shared this HTTP request. This HTTP, this single node has the capability of integrating every application in the entire world. Because nowadays, every application that we are normally using is dependent upon REST APIs that we normally use. So this is basically the solution for REST APIs. If you want to get some data, if you want to post some data, if you want to just make sure everything is working perfectly fine, this is the solution for all of those things. So I'll just move on to the next workflow. I guess we have done the second workflow as well, scraping the blog post, and we are just sending those to the email. So this is basically, I've already created that workflow. I had an idea that this workshop might take some time, so it's already pretty late. So I've already created this workflow, but I'll explain all of those things to you in a very quick manner. So this is basically inventory management using agentic AI. So I've used Google Sheets for this purpose. I have created some items. I'll just show you all of those things. I'll just get back and see if okay. So this is the basic Google Sheets over here. So I'll just click on this and open the sheet so you can have a look how it looks like. So I'll just close these other things for better understanding. So as you can see, I have this uh, the email automation that we have added. I basically turned it on, and we were just doing other things. And now you can see the emails that I received on my email are already being shown over here. So anyone who sends me an email, I can basically see. So instead of giving my email access to my team members, I can give them access to this sheet. And whatever email I'm receiving, I'm not able to respond to them, or I'm not able to read those things. There might be some important emails, even if I'm like leading something, leading a project, I have a direct communication with the client, but I'm on a vacation, I'm not available, so I can't respond to the emails. But and I want my team members to actually read the email and provide them some like a conversational medium which they can use to contact with the client. So they can just check on daily basis if I have received any important email or not. If I haven't received any important email, they can just ignore this as well. But if we received an important email, they can either contact me, or they can either directly use some other workflows that I have made to directly contact with the client. They just type the AI that this is the client's name that I want to contact, write the email for this purpose, and they will write the email on my behalf. So with this purpose, I won't need to give my access to anyone ever again. So I've just provided my access to Anytime because I trust Anytime for these purposes. So that is why this is also a very basic thing. So for the inventory management system, I've already told you. So we have the basic things over here: a product name, a product inventory count, the price of a product, and the warehouse number. So for example, if I can also name these warehouse numbers in the form of text, like warehouse on Alam Road or warehouse on some other road, or I can also use numbers for the warehouses. So this is basically the basic data for inventory management. So as I told you, it's not compulsory for everyone to be technical. Obviously, if there are a lot of people who are running e-commerce businesses or who are running offline businesses, but they need to keep a track of their inventory. So it's the simplest thing. Normally, uh, it's an old school thing. Everybody uses Excel. Normally, every person who is using computer for since the old ages, they're using Excel for keeping the record, for their inventory, for their cash flow, for everything, for the financial management. So nowadays we have advanced tools, so we normally don't try to learn Excel in the very first stage. But in the old times, normally Excel was a very important thing for everyone to learn when they just started using computer. So that is why we know that all the people normally who are using computer, who are doing actually business, they might be familiar with Excel. So I have seen a lot of businesses who basically keep their inventory up to date in their Excel sheets. So by the end of the day, they just keep a track of their sales and they update their inventory accordingly. So for that purpose, we have this AI. So I'll just open the chat message. So I'll just I have a kind of a chat GPT interface over here. So I'll just ask this: how many items I have in total? So now it's I have the different functions. So basically, these tools which I earlier mentioned are basically the functions that we create for the AI model. So there could, so if you want different functionalities, for example, if you want a functionality to read the data from Google Sheets, you have to create a function for that. If you want a function to update, it should have another function. And if you want to delete some values from, so that is how you control N10 about the functionalities. Obviously, the question you had was, is it secure? So obviously, it makes decision on your behalf, but it's your decision what privileges are you giving to N10. So over here, I have just given it two privileges to read the data and to update the data. It does not have the access to delete my data. So basically in this sheet, it can only update the inventory count. So you have 21 items in total. So I just asked him how many items I have in total in the inventory. So let's just see. I can just calculate these five, four. Just use the calculator over here for verifying this if it's correct or not. Plus 7 plus 3 plus 2. Yes, it's 21. So that is the basic thing. So normally, if you need to do this in Google Sheet, you will need to write equals, then you'll just add the formula for sum, and then you'll select all these things, and it's pretty hard. So the basic thing is you have it. And for example, I have like three values of milk. So I'll just add over here, add, I'll just add three more quantity in milk. So it's just going to understand. And now you can see, can you please confirm the item name and also provide the new price for, okay, I didn't actually spell it properly. Okay, add four more in the milk item quantity. Now we had normally it was three. So let's see. What is the total quantity of milk? The total quantity of milk is three. Obviously, it's not that perfect because we have to make more features. We have to add more functions to it. So because the summarization, as we also need to add, for example, if this is doing basic maths. So for a little bit complicated things, we also need to add a calculator to the tools. So basically, the AI agent also has its own calculator to perform the calculations. So now the calculations will be much more efficient. So I can uh, just, just add three to the update. This is because I have updating, as I told you, I have a read and updating function in my application. So I'll just use uh, update milk quantity to 10. So now we have like three. Milk quantity to 10 rupees for the milk transform will keep the price same. Okay, just provide the price 421. 421 is the price for. I have updated the quantity of milk to 10 and the price is now 421. So basically, it updates the stock on your behalf if you want to update the price, if you want to, because there are a lot of products. You can just use, you can simply use Google Sheets to integrate with your e-commerce or your other platform. So it's easier for you to manage your inventory. So you can have some checks or platforms over here that, for example, if I just update this to 0, and now I have that 0, and I'll ask it, can you tell me uh, the product in my list which is not in stock. So, for example, just assume this for thousands of products. It's very hard for me to keep track which product is out of stock or which product is nearly out of stock. Now it told me that the red chilies are not in stock. Basically, that is how we use inventory management with Anytime. So these are just some basic workflows to understand how the automations work. So there are a lot of complex workflows that you can see. For example, over here, if we go to marketplace for Anytime, so this is the marketplace for Anytime you guys can explore. So you'll just see a lot of interesting workflows over here that you can use. For example, like uh, crypto track price tracking alerts and your email automations or something like that. So mhm. Just let me share. I guess that's all. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yes, please. Abhi? Yes. Why? Just a second. So I have a very generic question about yes. The handicap, not really might not be very aligned with practicality of what you explained. But can you use handicap in PBI pipelines like that, like make the process more smoother and easier? Sorry, I didn't got your point. Like PBI pipelines, we use it like to extract data from a network sources like API and emails and response to better to better than this. Yes, basically that I mentioned that we have. If I'll just go to the N10 workflows over here, you have everything, every database linked over here, so you can use. As I told, you can do anything. You if you go to you have MongoDB over here, you have DynamoDB over here, you have uh, Postgres DB over here. You can connect any database that you have, and you can the basically a data stream you're fetching from the obviously a backend server is also linked with the database, and it fetches the data and converts the data into some kind of a readable form which you are requiring on the front end. So for those purposes, you can also create an API. So basically, you can create your own backend server on the net, and also there are a lot of YouTube videos and articles on that. You can create separate workflow. So, for example, if you want to authenticate the user, you can create a workflow for that. If you want to register, log in, create a product, update a product, you can create different workflows for all of that. And combining all those workflows, you can create a backend server completely built on N8N. So you can connect any database, you can save the data. Everything is possible. As I told, any automation that you think. So, for example, you might have seen GitHub Actions. GitHub has some workflows that are normally used to review the pipelines or make some deployments. Those things are also possible on N8N. So the only thing you need to do is you need to provide the access to that tool. Once N8N has access to that tool, you can perform almost anything on that tool. Every functionality that the product has to offer, and it has the access to automate those things. Right. One more question. Yes. About the Google Calendar. So, like, is it completely free or like, do we get some free trial? It's some of the models are completely free, but they don't have a completely free tier for API. You can go to Google Cloud and Google Vertex, so you can use those models for free for lifetime. But when you're using them with the API key, they have a free tier. But it's more than enough for you to consume because it resets upon monthly basis. So I don't think so. I haven't touched the limit of Google Gemini yet. And just everybody, we will be getting a lot of questions. And the end, our Sean will be able to share the email. You can connect with him, you can share your WhatsApp number, you can talk to him. So thank you so much for your time. We have a quiz. Yeah. When we present that. So we are moving to start here, keeping the time in mind. I know we have fought a number of time. So we do have a one activity that we want all of you to participate. So there are two questions. Maybe
should just show it. Please the one activity. So, giving the time in mind, we actually prepared the quiz on the software and however we are trying to expedite the process. Your first one will be asking a question, and whosoever raises the hand first, we will give him the opportunity to answer the question. All right. Thank you, everybody. So we do have an online audience also. So I just wanted to wrap the event up for them. I want to really appreciate everybody who was interested to learn about AI and participated in the event. Now, this will be an ongoing event for the on site people because we will be giving some questions to them and then getting the answers. You all know the email address for Arshman. If you don't know, Arshman can also share the email address with you. And you can reach directly to Arshman for all the question and answer. We are trying to keep the time short because we are already over time. So thank you everybody for participating. And I really love our team who goes online and spend their time in learning new things. So I want to give big round of applause to Arshman for taking this challenge and training our young people for their future and the future security. Because one of our leaders, CDO, says that um, AI will not replace you if you know AI. Yes. So there's this is a very common question. Like, will AI will take your job, right? So there are a lot of people that they say that AI will take jobs. AI will take jobs. The AI will only take jobs of those people who don't know how to use AI. So that's our concept that we're working on. So thank you everybody for joining and have a wonderful day. Bye bye. Ashman, can you say bye?
Bye, everyone.
Bye everyone.